Stop for a moment. Before you move on, hear this with an open heart. There are some battles God never intended for you to fight with your own hands. There are doors He never asked you to force open. There are conversations He never told you to finish. And there are seasons when heaven's greatest instruction is surprisingly simple. Do not touch what I am handling for you. If you've been feeling restless lately, wondering why every time you try to fix something, explain yourself, or make things happen, you feel an unusual resistance inside your spirit, this message is for you. That resistance is not confusion. It is not weakness. It is the gentle hand of God protecting what your emotions are tempted to interfere with. God sees what you cannot see. He knows every hidden detail, every delayed answer, every quiet tear you never shared with anyone. What feels unfinished to you is not unfinished to Him. While you are counting the days and wondering why nothing seems to be changing, God has been working faithfully behind the scenes in ways your eyes cannot yet understand. The world teaches us to react immediately. Speak louder. Defend yourself. Prove your worth. Chase every opportunity before someone else takes it. Never let anyone misunderstand you. Never remain silent when you can explain yourself. But God's wisdom often sounds completely different from the noise around us. Sometimes His voice simply whispers, "Be still, my child. I am not finished." There is something powerful about trusting God enough to remain still when every emotion inside you is asking you to move. That kind of trust cannot be learned in comfort. It is born in waiting. It is strengthened in silence. It grows in those sacred moments when you choose faith over control. You may have written the message several times and deleted it before sending it. You may have replayed conversations in your mind, wondering what you should have said differently. Perhaps you have prayed for God to give you permission to fix the situation yourself, only to feel Him gently saying no. That no is not rejection. It is protection. The Lord is teaching you something precious in this season. He is teaching you that His timing is more trustworthy than your urgency. Isaiah reminds us that in quietness and trust shall be your strength. Notice that God did not say your strength would come through striving or exhausting yourself trying to manage every outcome. He said your strength would be found in quietness and trust. There is strength in letting go. There is strength in not replying. There is strength in walking away from the argument. There is strength in allowing God to write a better ending than the one you have been desperately trying to create. Many people believe faith means partnering with God while still holding tightly to the steering wheel of their lives. But sometimes God asks us to completely release our grip and simply trust Him to lead. Perhaps you have been asking God why things have been delayed, why opportunities disappeared, why relationships changed, why certain people walked away without explanation, why prayers remain unanswered. Can I tell you something that may bring peace to your heart? Delay does not mean forgotten. God has never lost track of your prayers, not one of them. Every prayer whispered through tears has been heard in heaven. Every moment of obedience that nobody noticed has been recorded by God Himself. You are not wasting time by waiting on Him. Psalm 46:10 tells us, "Be still and know that I am God." Notice that stillness comes before understanding. God does not promise that you will immediately understand everything He is doing. Instead, He invites you to know Him more deeply while you wait. There are blessings that can only be received by people who are willing to wait. There are miracles that arrive quietly after seasons of obedience. There are victories that require absolutely no striving, because God Himself fought the battle long before you ever realized it existed. Right now, God may be protecting you from outcomes you would have chosen if He had immediately answered your prayers. Think about how many times in your life you prayed for something that you are now grateful God never gave you. Think about the doors that closed unexpectedly, only for you to later discover they were leading toward disappointment. Think about the relationships that ended and eventually made room for something healthier and more beautiful. God has always been faithful, even when His faithfulness did not look like what you expected. Some of you are carrying unnecessary burdens because you have been trying to do God's work while neglecting your own assignment. Your assignment is faith. God's assignment is the outcome. Your assignment is obedience. God's assignment is restoration. Your assignment is trust. God's assignment is victory. When we reverse those roles, we become exhausted. We lose our peace because we were never designed to carry responsibilities that belong to God. You are not responsible for convincing everyone to understand your heart. You are not responsible for controlling other people's opinions. You are not responsible for opening every door that appears closed. Your responsibility is simply this: walk faithfully with God. Sometimes God's greatest blessings come wrapped inside his divine interruptions. What feels like silence may actually be heaven's preparation. What feels like waiting may actually be God's mercy. Imagine an experienced gardener planting seeds beneath the soil. The ground appears empty for weeks. Nothing visible is happening. Someone unfamiliar with gardening might assume the seeds are dead and dig them up to check their progress. But that interference would destroy the very thing they were hoping to see grow. Many people are digging up what God has planted simply because they cannot tolerate waiting. Do not become one of them. If God planted the seed, trust him to bring the harvest in his perfect time. The truth is, God is doing far more in your waiting season than simply preparing blessings for your future. He is preparing you. Because if God gave you everything immediately, would you have the wisdom to steward it well? Would you have the humility to recognize his hand upon it? Would your character be strong enough to sustain what he desires to give you? Waiting is often God's classroom. And every lesson he teaches in silence becomes a blessing you carry for the rest of your life. So today, if God has been telling you to keep your hands off something, trust him enough to obey. Let him defend you. Let him restore what was broken. Let him close what needs to be closed and open what only he can open. You are not falling behind. You are being positioned exactly where his grace can find you at the right moment.